up YouTube? Welcome back to Watch the Kettle. The sky is blue today, I must say. Very blue indeed. Still enjoying my green OP, but Christmas is gone. The season is over. Now it's all about blue skies. Lovely coffee I was given, cappuccino, to unbox my Blue Sky-Dweller. I usually drink champagne, but I'm on dry January, trying to work on my fitness this year. And the Blue Sky-Dweller was unveiled to me in January. Look at that blue. Such a beautiful watch. Still a bit gassed and excited about this watch. 7 months on the wait list to get this, which I'm still quite impressed and surprised. But I must tell you, that watch is a big boy. It's 42mm, wears a bit heavy on the wrist as well. For a steel watch to feel this heavy is kind of shocking. And as usual in the AD, they never let me take the watch without the stickers. Don't know why, I always wear all my watches, but I understand at the same time they fetch a little bit more premium in the grey market because it just gives the customer that satisfaction that it hasn't been worn. But it's my watch, so I tend to sticker it myself. I don't let the AD do it for me. So I had a chat with the AD about what watches are coming, this year, and quite some interesting opinions. I wouldn't really share a lot, but I think we have a couple anniversaries for the sub and the GMT, so we might see some precious metals GMT and maybe something special for the sub. I'm not too sure, but look at that blue. I'm still excited about this blue. I decided to compare it to some precious metal sky dwellers in Oyster Flex, and yeah, it just felt a bit too top heavy. I think the balance on the Oyster and the Sky Steel is just the best. It's not as heavy. Now back in the studio, got that watch back home, and I'm a bit disappointed I wasn't given the new box, I can't lie. So apparently this watch was already allocated to this box, and they hadn't really had any new box coming, quote unquote. So hey, it's a win is still a win. It's still blue skies out here in London. So there we have the watch. Nothing special. The box remains the same like the steel sports model. Doesn't change in any way. Same old packaging as usual. You have the Oyster bracelet. I went for the Oyster bracelet here just because I feel it gives it that balance and that ruggedness, because it's quite top heavy and it just gives it that balance. The Jubilee is nice, but it's kind of like a big, it gives me that feel if I'm getting a Jubilee on a Sky-Dweller. However, it's still a pretty look, I wouldn't lie. This watch is really chunky, I must say. It comes in at 42mm case size diameter. Look at that close to my Datejust Wimbledon. It's small. It's a big difference. So this is a blown up. This is basically a Datejust on steroids, giving it a GMT and a calendar function as well, which is quite superb. Usual unboxing, nothing in here. Swing tags, price tag as well, service manual booklet, warranty. And a very interesting thing here about this manual is that it's quite impressive because there's a lot of information packed about how to use this watch. And I mean, everyone knows how to set a typical watch with a date only, but this is a GMT with a date and a calendar as well. And it actually has a fluted command bezel, which is quite interesting to actually use. I will be posting up a video on how to set your Sky-Dweller, so watch out for that. Because it did take me a while to understand, and reading this menu was actually helpful. So for the first time unboxing a Rolex, I was actually going through the menu because yeah, some information are not as easy to find, so making a video on that. But yeah, the box is typical lovely blue. I think this blue is really similar to my friend's Datejust blue as well, but it's not as flat as the OP blue. But that sunburst blue is really beautiful. I have a couple watches, the Tissot PRX in blue, an Orient in blue. Obviously the bad girl has a little blue, but that is more of a huey blue. And this is just perfect. There's nothing like a clean Oyster bracelet initially, but we all know this is going to get scratched up in the next 3-4 months. I wear my watches and I must say the Oyster bracelet is definitely a scratch magnet. So we have this fluted bezel here, which is made in white gold. It's a command fluted bezel. I think the first pull here actually could set the time in terms of traditional timing, and then there's another sort of command shift as well that could actually just set the GMT itself, so moving just the hour hands on its own in a different time zone once you've actually set your hometown in the sub dials. And then the next command on that fluted actually sets the date. So if you turn the date all the way, you can see the red marker there moves. So 12 o'clock is December, 1 o'clock is January, February is 2 o'clock, March is 3 o'clock, etc. So the more you turn it, and you actually see the months change, which is quite a nice feature, I must say. I don't think it's something that anyone would really use per se, because you already know which month you are most of the time. But it's kind of like a good functionality to have. We hardly see Rolex do any sort of crazy complication, so it's kind of good to know that, you know, this is Rolex's most complicated timepiece, having the time, the date, the calendar, and also a GMT function to track a second time zone. So it's quite impressive. The clasp is not any sort of special sports clasp. We have the extended link there, and we just have one lock system on the clasp as well, just like it has on the Datejust. But yeah, looking at that dial is just striking. Like, I think if you're getting a Sky-Dweller, if it's not a blue, then it's not really a Sky-Dweller personally. I think the Sky-Dweller is just known for that blue dial. I think this is definitely the best dial you could get for a Sky-Dweller, and it's chunky. I have a 7.5-inch wrist, and I must say this watch is big. It's top heavy, 42mm case size diameter, you know, time, date, month, GMT function, bezel command, fluted bezel movement. Thickness is around 14mm well, and the water resistance is around 100 meters, you know. So as you can see over there, you can see it just looks like a big brick of steel on my wrist. So if you want any sort of presence, wrist presence on your wrist, definitely the Sky-Dweller. It tends to get a lot of attention, I would say, more than the Datejust, because it just basically screams, hey, look at me, I have something on my wrist, you know. But I think having this on the Oyster bracelet gives it that perfect balance between that top heavy head on a 42mm case size compared to a Jubilee band that gives it a bit more dressy, or should I say a bit more flimsy look. I don't think the Jubilee would last as long based on how heavy the top is, but I think the Oyster does gives me that reassurance that it's quite a well balanced watch. But I love blue. If you love blue, you will love this watch. This is more of a, you go from a blue OP to a blue sky, or from a blue Datejust to a blue sky, and then you can start waking your way up to more like a blue AP. But in terms of that big robust watch for my 7.5-inch wrist, I would say if anyone's looking for a big watch that is quite heavy, if you want that heavy feel without having to go precious metal, the Sky-Dweller is amazing, you know. But I can understand how this might not be a lot of people's taste because of that 42mm case size. Even for my 7.5-inch wrist, it's quite heavy and it's quite bulky, but still a beautiful watch. Now, comparing my Datejust Oyster bracelet to this, the good thing I love about Rolex here is they actually complement the bracelet with the watch. They know it's a top heavy 42mm heavy watch, and then they decided to make sure the Oyster bracelet complements that and fits that. So it's significantly bigger a little bit than the Datejust. As you can see, the Datejust even sits in between the Sky-Dweller's Oyster bracelet. So definitely a big difference in bracelet, maybe like a 2mm difference. But it does balance out the watch properly, so the watch doesn't always feel as big or top heavy. It actually wears quite comfortable, funny enough. It is heavy, it is chunky, I can feel the difference, but it's not to the point where I feel, oh my god, I can't wear this. So comparing this to a Tudor, I would prefer to wear something this heavy compared to a Tudor. And I will say, surprisingly, it is very comfortable. So yeah, that is the difference in the bracelets over there, just for comparison. And one thing I actually love about my AD Lakeside Goldsmiths, shout out to them, is that they never really offer me anything that I haven't registered. I do tend to watch a lot of watch videos on YouTube, and people talk about AD offering them items or watches they were not registered for. I think it's kind of like a balance of making it clear what you want from your AD. And I really respect the fact they don't offer me anything I do not want. Now, comparing this again to my Datejust Wimbledon, you could really see the difference in the thickness, even in the bracelets and even in the case size. 42mm compared to 41. Doesn't sound like a lot, but in this case it is actually quite a lot. And also comparing this as well to something like my Tissot PRX, you can see the blue. I love the Tissot PRX. It's such an understated watch. I wear that a lot. It's kind of like a daily. Compared to the Rolex Sky-Dweller Blue though, I think the Sky-Dweller Blue pops just a bit more. You know, if the TRX is an 8, the Sky-Dweller is a 10. You know, not downsizing the PRX, but I mean, look at that Sky-Dweller Blue. You can't just go wrong with that blue. It's really beautiful. But two different watches, two different price brackets. Can't really compare, you know. And then comparing this to my Batgirl, as you can see, the blue on the Batgirl is a different blue. It's very huey, it's very playful. Two different GMTs here. I'll say the one on the left is Sky-Dweller, for business, travel business. The one on the right is travel, adventure, have fun, you know. I'm a traveler myself, so I love GMTs. I don't know, I love my watches actually meaning something or having some sort of function. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. Put in a comment what you would like to see next, and is the Sky-Dweller your piece of cake? Why is it not, or why is it? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinion. See you all in the next one. Peace.